It is the final stretch for the presidential candidates, and they are in high gear this weekend.
There's been a string of freeway shootings over the past several weeks, but they still don't know if there's a connection.
The economic bailout bill has been signed, and one of its supporters, Valley Congressman Jim Costa.
The balloons, the flowers, and the teddy bears for little Jeanette are still here.
Well, Warren, these choppers behind me have been coming and going from Yosemite, Mariposa Airport all day.
But one student here believes that a thick calculus book like this one was at the right place at the right time. This is what a tire valve stem should look like, but in some cases, they're cracking and even coming apart.
Firefighters in Mariposa County have made tremendous progress on the Telegraph fire.
Well, a Bay Area baseball matchup looked a little like the minor leagues today.
Good Sunday morning. It is December 14th. I'm Itica Milanes. Thank you for sharing part of your Sunday morning with us. Before we get to our top story, let's take a quick look outside at the fresh snow. Angelo Stalis is with us this morning. He's in the Storm Warren 30 Center, and he just got off the phone with the folks at the ski resort with the latest snow totals.
Now let's go back to Itica.
All right, Angelo, we'll see you then. A cold winter blast is settling into the valley. The drop in temperatures is welcome news for some, while others are preparing for the worst. Action News reporter John Thomas Cobo shows us the impact these dramatic weather changes are having. In the Northeast, a winter storm has knocked out power to millions of people. Falling temperatures are expected to send more people to shelters in the ice-coated area, even as an army of utility crews are scrambling to restore power. Mourners gathered to honor the victims of a bomb blast at an Oregon bank. Last night, dozens of people gathered for a vigil in Woodburn. On Friday, a police officer and a bomb technician were killed, and the police chief was injured when a bomb exploded. This morning, British Prime Minister Gordon Brown said that the UK and Pakistan must do everything they can to cut off terrorism, and the two countries even made a pact. Back here at home, Fresno police are trying to sort out the different stories about a shooting that injured a teenager yesterday. An ambulance rushed the teen to the hospital after he was shot in the back in southwest Fresno. A driver is in the hospital with major injuries after running a red light and crashing into a big rig. The damage to the van that ran the light is pretty dramatic, as you can see from this video. Action News time, 8:09. Teenagers are finding new trouble with their cell phones. Well, Ange says that we may have something happen tonight that hasn't happened in 10 years in the valley, huh?
Little snowflake or two?
Yeah,
would you like that?
I would love that. An early little white Christmas.
Well, it looks like our streak of dry weather may be coming to an end this week. Well, half the Final Four is decided. Jason Oliveira is in the newsroom with the first two teams to get their tickets to San Antonio. Hi, Jason.
Just a little hint of summer lingering there.
It's still staying in the forecast just a little bit.
Thank you, Ruben. Time now, 6:22. Remember, you can stop by the ABC 30 Event Center. Well, Ruben was just telling me that we're going to be hot, but we're going to be consistent, right?
Right. That's, I guess, a positive thing in our forecast. But
well, Dale, this is what a tire valve stem should look like, but in some cases, they're cracking and even coming apart. It's made by a company called Tech International in China for a company called Dill, and now they're under a lot of scrutiny as millions of them are being taken off of tires.
Some of you may be treading on a dangerous problem and don't even know it. 30 million of these tiny tire valve stems are being recalled by the distributor because of cracking. And chances are you may have them on your ride if you bought tires in the last 2 years.
You lost the air in the tire, it can create a problem. You know, if it goes and blows up.
This is the part where they're concerned about of the cracking around the valve stem right at the wheel area. Right in there. And that's what's going to start leaking on you.
Tire shop owner Rick Borgardes says if your tire is leaking air, your car will pull to the left or the right. He suggests making a simple phone call if you're not sure what kind of tire valves you have.
Just call your shop. We've had your tires installed. And just ask them to use those valve stems. If so, just have them changed out.
The recalled tire valves were manufactured between August and November of 2006 and were sent to tire shops all over North America.
They didn't put the UV protection in the valve stems, and so the sunlight is making them deteriorate way premature, way too fast.
The only way to check if you have a defective valve is to take the tire off the rim. Here's a comparison. The stem on the left is in good shape, no cracks. But when you bend the one on the right, it comes apart, and that's where air leaks out.
Very scary.
Faith and Joe Broussard just bought 4 new tires, and we're glad to hear about the valve recall.
Just have to research and find out if my car has one of those and get it fixed right away.
Mike Areola of Factory Tire in Fresno just found out he was carrying some of the valve stems that are being recalled.
Well, now I'm going to make sure that those are not the ones that I'm buying.
Now, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is investigating claims of a defect after a Florida man died in a rollover accident that's being linked to these tire valves. There are 6 model numbers that are being recalled. If you would like a complete list of those model numbers, just visit our website, abc30.com.
Graciela and Warren, investigators say that Tom Creighton was at a party last August in this house. Well, the next morning, someone found him unconscious in his own yard right across the street. And now, investigators have ruled it a homicide.
About 11,000 people call Kingsburg home, and everyone seems to know one another. But in the last 6 months, there's been a fiercely guarded secret in town who viciously beat 48-year-old Tom Creighton to death.
Somebody knows what happened, but nobody's come forward.
Ben Creighton and his brother Tom owned and operated Creighton Memorial Chapel.
We made a call together on Friday night, just like we've done 1,000 times, and I never saw him again.
Last August 4th, a neighbor found Tom bloody and unconscious in his driveway, just a few yards away from the funeral chapel. Kingsburg police say the night before, the funeral director was at a party across the street where a stripper entertained a small group.
An adult entertainment dancer, a female dancer, and her escort that attended the party with her.
Creighton died a week later, taking to his grave the secret that's rocked this small community and devastated his family.
It's like a nightmare that you don't wake up from. I mean, he's the last thing on my mind when I go to sleep at night and the first thing I think of in the morning.
The memorial handout that is here that was at the funeral of Thomas Creighton has remained on my desk since the funeral.
Chief Jeff Dunn says Creighton's murder is only the town's second one in almost a decade. Tom's brother told me he doesn't know what happened at the party his brother went to the night he was fatally beaten and if there's a possible connection to the stripper.
You can't help but look at that, but that doesn't mean it was part of it. I just don't know.
But he's vowing to crack the Kingsburg secret that continues to haunt him.
I would feel like I let him die in vain if I don't see it through and try to see some justice for him. He deserves that.
Kingsburg police say that they have talked to witnesses, people at that party, some 2 and 3 times, including the stripper and her escort. They say they have no strong leads, and that's why they're hoping that anyone who has any information calls them at the Kingsburg Police Department. We are live in Kingsburg. Itica Milanes, ABC 30 Action News.